congratulations on this show. I mean, it's no surprise that it's fantastic. But what really blew me away was Angela. I mean, I am just in love with this character.
Thank
She, oh my goodness, she takes up so much space in the best way possible. She's got this like brilliant, brash and bold wit, but then she's like tender and vulnerable when you least expect it. I mean, it's gorgeous.
you.
I guess my first question is like, can you talk to me about finding her rhythm and when you wanted to kind of be kind of larger than life and when you want it to be vulnerable and kind of find those different sides and tones to her.
It all starts on the page. So it's like Taylor creates his character and then you really like you mine that, right? You kind of go through it and you start to find all the clues and the behavior. And then, as you meet the cast of characters that came together for this show, you see how everybody interacts. And he really is incredible at casting. It's something that he prides himself in. Um, so with this character in particular, one of the great challenges for me and the great joys of playing her was how fast she moves.
Mm.
So she turns on an instant, and we'll be in a scene, and she's, feeling this emotion where she's so happy, and then she's hurt, and then she's angry, and then she's crying. I mean, it's like there's so much going on that for me, it had to be incredibly fluid. And that came from having the emotional depth. So it's like having the storyline, what she's been through, what her motivations are, what she cares about. And with Angela, like it really all comes back to love and that she's trying to put her family back together. And, she's going to have some fun while she's doing it. And she's going to definitely get herself ready. But I think that that is part of it. And also that, when you look into the world of oil, there's booms and then there's busts. And so when Tommy and Angela met, it was a boom and then there was the bust. And he was the father of her children and they lost everything. And so you start to see as the season unfolds the emotional toll that that took on them and why, they're kind of trying to find it again. So I think that that's what's really interesting. Is just knowing like oil it has a toll on everyone's life and are you that gambling person and is it worth it and is it not. And then I think also with Angela and Tommy they have an incredible sense of humor with each other and he loves her for her flaws and her weaknesses and he lets her be wild and free and so that's just like such a delicious combination.
It truly is. I mean, it's so fun. I have here that like they have this complicated but contagious relationship, and you cannot help but just be on the edge of your seat. I just from the get-go, the scene where he's driving in the car and she FaceTimes him,
Yeah.
right from the start, you're like, oh, we're in for a wild ride when it comes to these two. And like the song and dance. And I just can only imagine working with Billy Bob to kind of find that. And like,
Course. I mean, definitely it starts on the page, but then when you have like someone like that as your sparring partner,
mhm.
it's the best, I mean, because he's a storyteller, right? Like he's a writer and an actor and a director, and he doesn't have a false beat. He's just so gifted at being so present and figuring out the truth of every single scene. He just intuitively knows exactly what to do at every moment. It's kind of mind blowing. And so
Right.
for me, it was just making sure from the very beginning that I was very certain in who my character was, and so that I could go and spar next to him and have a seat at the table.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I also think I couldn't help but think about this as I was watching Angela, is that I feel like as women, especially, it's so ingrained in us to be adaptable, to perform in certain ways when in certain situations around certain people. I mean, of course, this comes from sort of societal and systemic, reasons. And I feel like Angela is like, I have chills thinking about it. Like to me, like she truly is kind of the epitome of that, where she's really a chameleon depending on
Hmm.
what she needs from the situation. Like, would you
Yeah.
like to touch upon that and kind of like just bringing that to surface as it is so relatable now more than ever? Like, and it's just, yeah, it was really stunning to watch.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely is. And I think that, look, Angela is definitely kind of misguided. So I mean, when I think about her goals and her motivations at times, I don't see her flaws. Like I can see it now, but definitely not when I was playing the character and the way that she teaches her daughter the ways of the world. Okay, so this is really fun stuff to me. But here's the deal: there are women that is their priority, and it's really really fun to get to play one that feels that way, and it unabashedly true, unabashedly glamorous, unabashedly loves hard. Like she's all these things, and that's something that was really fun to get to play with her, because so much of life is like you have to be so subtle, and that's just so boring. And she hates subtlety, and she runs right at kind of the joy of every situation. But I think that she's from a different time, and I think that well, even not, because she's raising her daughter the same way. I just as a person I do it very differently.
Yeah, right. No, but it's very true. I mean, I think to your point, it starts on the page is that Taylor, like, this is what he's so brilliant at, especially like I mean, he creates female characters with such care and
Yes.
respect and allows them to, like I think of Beth in Yellowstone, like I think of these sort of bold female characters that in another world, in a different place, would be labeled as crazy or unruly, but he has so much care for them and respect for them that and allows for those complexities and that juiciness and
I mean,
kind of builds it.
absolutely. And how lucky are we that we get
Uh,
to see those women, because I don't want to play like the quiet lawyer in the corner.
mhm.
It's like it's so nice to be able to play a woman who is that wild and free, but also
uh,
has flaws. There's no interest for me as an actor to play someone just to show her shiny bright side. It's being able to show how vulnerable she is, and like watch, when she crumbles, and Taylor writes those scenes within the story. And then he also, especially with Tommy and with Angela, like he sees her.
yeah.
I just, again, like when someone sees you and loves you for your flaws, it's a pretty incredible thing.
Mm.
And so and again, I think, a lot of times there's just so much judgment in relationships. And, when you see Angela and Tommy, together, they don't judge each other. They might drive each other crazy in all the best ways, but
Yeah.
it's not about judgment. It's about seeing each other. And I think that is a unique way to put a relationship on screen.
Yeah, it's really like I said, it kind of like blew me away. Like that I've only watched 3 episodes because I had to like
Okay.
constrict myself. But that third episode, the two of you in bed,
Yeah.
vulnerability and like just the humanness of it all and that love. It's just I'm so excited for
Thank
the rest of
you.
the season and
Thank you. You've been so
congratulations.
sweet. Thank you. No, I really appreciate it. You don't always get opportunities like this. And I'm just like, I just feel so grateful to have a seat at the table and proud to be such a part of such a special show.
You're killing it. It's like
Thank
really
you.
wonderful to see.